Batman's origin centers around one core element, the loss of family. In Detective Comics number 33, we see Batman's origin story for the first time. In it, we see Bruce's father and mother shot dead by a lone mugger. This leaves young Bruce alone, but also encourages him to swear by the spirits of his parents to avenge their death by spending the rest of his life warring on all criminals. Batman's journey to become the Caped Crusader, as well as his arsenal of gadgets, serve to fulfill that mission. Ultimately, the earliest forms of Batman use their wealth, skill, and technology in service of a mission spawned by the loss of family. While in the year 2026, we can certainly say that Batman's mission has given him a found family. Today I want to discuss how one of Batman's greatest pieces of armor stands for something far greater than any other piece of technology Batman has created before, and that at its core, it's a union of both found family and familial love. Today, I want to explore the nature, themes, and use of the Hellbat armor. The foundational events that created Batman is the loss of family, namely Bruce's mother and father. However, across Batman's almost 90-year history, Bruce has built himself a found family, from people such as Alfred Pennyworth, who essentially stand in as a second father to him, and even the Robins and other members of the Bat family acting as children and siblings. Outside of that, Bruce has other members, such as the Justice League, including people like Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash, that feel largely like brothers and sisters. But things changed in 2006 with the biggest change to Batman's familial unit. In Batman number 656, Grant Morrison and Andy Kubert introduced Damian Wayne Al Ghul, the son of Bruce Wayne and Talia Al Ghul. Over the next few issues, Bruce struggles to understand that he is indeed a father, and now must deal with his extremely violent son. Damian even tries to get rid of Tim Drake and take his place as Robin. Damian does return to his mother, but later reappears throughout Morrison's early run. Clearly, Batman struck a chord with Damian, and the more evil he sees in a League of Assassins, the more he finds himself drawn to his father. It's important to note that while Bruce had essentially raised the Robins, his involvement with them largely came from choice. He chose to take Dick Grayson in when Dick's parents died. He chose to help Jason Todd when he found him living on the street. Damian wasn't a choice he could ignore. Not only was this a young man close to Bruce's own age when he lost his parents, but one that is related to him via blood. This isn't a person Bruce can ignore or send away. If anything, to ignore Damian is to treat him solely as his mother's son, and is to deprive the child of a father that Bruce lost. When Bruce supposedly dies at the end of Final Crisis, Dick Grayson takes over the mantle of Batman. His first act as Batman is to make Damian his new Robin. Not as a way to punish Tim Drake, but to show Damian that his father's legacy means something, and to try and teach Damian that it means to do the right thing. Together, Dick and Damian form a new dynamic duo, taking on villains such as Professor Pig and William Hurt. Eventually, Bruce returns and builds Batman Incorporated, a way for Batman operatives to work across the world, all receiving funding from Wayne Enterprises. In the New 52 era, Bruce returns to the mantle of Batman, and while there are numerous Batman titles happening within the New 52, the most important one here are Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's Batman title, Grant Morrison's Batman Incorporated, and Tomasi and Gleason's Batman and Robin. In Snyder and Capullo's Batman, we don't see much of Bruce with Damian, but story arcs in the Batman titles do affect what we see in other titles. Primarily, we'll be looking at Tomasi and Gleason's Batman and Robin. The first arc we see with Bruce and Damian as Batman and Robin sees the son of Henry Descartes, codenamed Nobody, attempting to kill Bruce. Damian is still struggling to communicate with his father, given that neither of them are particularly strong communicators. During this arc, Damian finds himself visiting the Wayne's grave and contemplating his choices. This leads him to Nobody. Nobody convinces Damian that his instincts are correct, leading to Damian briefly abandoning Bruce. But at the arc's end, Damian confronts Nobody, embracing his father's legacy by killing Nobody. Obviously, this is a very un-Batman thing to do, but for the first time, we see Damian genuinely regret his actions. From here, Damian seems to make a real effort to understand his father better. He even puts his detective skills to work and spends more of his free time looking through the sewers below Crime Alley, just to gift one of Martha Wayne's lost pearls. A gesture that helps Bruce to see that Damian truly is changing, that he truly does think of others and not just himself. In the Batman title, we see events such as Death of the Family, in which the Joker forces the Bat family to face each other and their fears. This ultimately creates a rift in the Bat family, but in the issue of Batman and Robin set directly after the Death of the Family story, Issue number 17, we see Bruce, Alfred, and Damian suffer from nightmares following the Joker's torture. At first, Damian dreams of his dual nature. Half of him is an Al Ghul, the grandson of Ra's al Ghul, while the other is a Wayne, the son of Batman. Within his nightmare, Damian awakens to find his father in the study being fed upon by a bat creature, mirroring a similar setup to what we see in Batman Year One. For Alfred, he relives both the last night he saw Thomas and Martha Wayne, as well as the horrors the Joker inflicted. Alfred awakens from his dream when he imagines himself shooting the Joker point blank, an act I'm sure he wishes he could do to save the rest of the Bat family. For Bruce, he sees himself exploring the sewers beneath Crime Alley while talking to his parents. However, when Bruce finds himself drowning, it's an apparition of Damian that saves him. Bruce wakes up from the dream and decides to check on Damian, tucking him back into bed with a smile on his face. Finally, we return to Damian's dream, in which he and his father continue to patrol Gotham City, ending the night by watching the sunrise. Dream Bruce asks him if he knows this is a dream, right? To which Damian closes the issue saying, "Yes, father, and one I finally don't want to wake up from." What makes this issue even more beautiful is the melancholy and tragedy that happens right after. In Batman Incorporated number 8, Morrison decides that this would be the end of young Damian Wayne. While fighting alongside Nightwing and against his mother, Damian is killed by a mutant clone of himself named the Heretic. In his final moments, Damian is stabbed through the chest as he tries to save a young girl. The last image of the issue, which is horrifically titled "The Boy Wonder Returns," sees Bruce cradling the body of his son. Back in Batman and Robin, issue 18 needs to follow up its dream issue with a somber memorial. The issue is entirely silent. Bruce goes through Damian's things, studying his notebooks, seeing a list of films that Superman had recommended to him, and sketches Damian had done, including a sketch of the Wayne graves that he had labelled Grandfather and Grandmother Wayne. The gravestones are a continuing motif through Tomasi and Gleason's run. Bruce and Alfred pack away a portrait that was nearly finished, leaving Damian as the only member he was not yet complete. As Bruce makes his way to the Batcave, for a moment he thinks he sees Damian beside him, only to land and see nothing. The image of Damian haunts Batman while on patrol, the illusion being shattered as soon as Bruce catches sight of his reflection. While fighting crime, Bruce doesn't waste any time, grabbing criminals and leaving them all tied up by the bat signal for Gordon to find. Bruce returns to the cave, washing away the blood and dirt of the night. But as Bruce is changing, he spots a letter Damian had left in his locker the night he went out to face his mother. It reads, "Father, I'm sure you'll be angry with me for disobeying you again, but I don't care. I will not let you fight Leviathan alone. You need me, and I will always be your side. Because it would be hard for me to say these words face to face. I want you to know that Mother may have given me life, but you taught me how to live. Love and respect, your son, Damian." This is the moment when Bruce loses all composure and lets out his anger and grief, ending the issue with Bruce now cradling Damian's costume as he previously had his son's own body. The next series of issues sees Bruce going through the 5 stages of grief, either pushing people away or reliving memories of Damian with the people he cared for. Damian's body is buried at Wayne Manor alongside Thomas and Martha, and while Bruce spends a good amount of time debating whether or not to attempt to bring Damian back to life, he ultimately decides, as he cannot guarantee that the process wouldn't cause Damian suffering, he needs to accept what has happened and instead live on for him. Sadly, this is ruined when Bruce and Alfred find Damian's grave robbed and his body missing. Ra's al Ghul has decided that while he cannot abide his grandson having died, he's more than fine with resurrecting him as a mindless servant. Bruce follows him across the planet until he and Frankenstein attempt to stop him in the Arctic. While it does seem that Bruce and Frankenstein are about to win, the forces of Apocalypse arrive and take Damian's casket, with it being infused by both residue from the Lazarus Pit and an artifact known as the Chaos Shard that Ra's had hidden within Damian's coffin. With Glorious Godfrey and the Parademons retreating to Apocalypse along with Damian's body, this is where Batman must truly make a choice, one that leads him to the Hellbat armor. The armor is the culmination of Bruce's journey as a father. His original view of Damian was that of a monstrous creature trained to kill, and through Tomasi and Gleason's run, Bruce grows into a caring and protective father to Damian, now becoming the monstrous creature who is hell-bent on saving his son's soul. The armor, contrary to its human wielder, exists with the help of gods among men. As Wonder Woman states, "You built it with our help, a team project from start to finish. Forged in the sun by Superman and Green Lantern, Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman, all of us contributing to it for a singular purpose we know all too well." While the purpose Wonder Woman is referring to are situations where a human, even one as clever and skilled as Batman, would be in extreme danger, the armor is created by the Justice League because they care about their friend. Again, this is another instance of found family, and a want to protect the people they care about beyond simple work colleagues. While Batman uses the Hell Armor against their wishes, the armor goes from a symbol of deep friendship to one of parental love. With this armor, Batman braves Apocalypse and battles Darkseid's forces to retrieve the son he thought he had lost, fighting not only Darkseid, but Darkseid's own son in the form of Calabac. The beginning of Batman's journey puts him not just in the heart of Apocalypse, but perhaps for the first time, completely alone in hell. Even with the armor, Bruce is burning up inside. This environment is more than any one person should be able to handle. However, as the armor symbolizes, Bruce is not alone. He has the armor created by one found family, with another found family about to join him. Batgirl, Red Robin, and Red Hood, with the help of Alfred and Cyborg, don their own version of Robin's costume and head to Apocalypse to find Bruce. As they do, they find Bruce brutally assaulting the parademons. We see as he does, Batman is seeing apparitions of Raish, Talia, and the Heretic, causing him to just completely lose control. The Robin team finds him, showing their Robin badges to calm Bruce down and remind him what he is here for. The team finds where Calabac is keeping Damian's body, encased in a machine intent to use the energy left within his body and the Chaos Shard in the name of Darkseid. As Batman and the Robins take down Calabac and are finally within reach of Damian's body, Bruce even managing to get the Chaos Shard out of the casket, a shadow looms overhead. Darkseid has arrived. As Darkseid is crushing Batman's head beneath his feet, he asks Batman if he's willing to risk unimaginable horror to his body and soul at the hands of Darkseid, to which Batman summons the energy to fight back, knocking Darkseid back as he declares that unimaginable horrors unfortunately haven't been left to my imagination. Losing Damian is the most horrific and unimaginable pain Bruce has had to endure. The pain of fighting through Apocalypse and facing Darkseid is nothing to him compared to the pain. As Darkseid faces a beaten Batman preparing his Omega beams, Bruce grabs the Chaos Shard and intercepts the beam. The shard supercharges the Hellbat armor to the point that Bruce can barely withstand it. With Cyborg's help, they open a boom tube back to the Batcave, carrying Damian's casket with them. As they land at Alfred's feet, Bruce frantically ejects the Hellbat helmet and gloves, the energy almost ripping Bruce apart. The armor is about to explode with all the energy, but Bruce takes the Chaos Shard and stabs it through the heart of Damian's body. The Hellbat armor breaks away, leaving just Bruce holding the body of his son, and it takes a moment, but Damian opens his eyes and reaches out for his father. The Hellbat armor encapsulates the journey that both Bruce and Damian take. Its purpose is to regain a piece of family that Bruce didn't get to choose, but fought through hell to save. With the rest of the Bat family watching on, we end Batman and Robin number 37, not with Bruce cradling his lost son, but with a father and son reunited with the people they loved watching on. This connection to familial love and the Hellbat armor continues into Mossy and Gleason's next series. In the rebirth era of Superman, we find Clark and Lois living on a farm and raising their 10-year-old son, John Kent. During this first arc, John is still coming to terms with being the son of Superman, as well as his still developing powers. When the Eradicator returns, he deems John to be an abomination, the hybrid of a human and a Kryptonian. With this in mind, the Eradicator decides John should not exist, leading to Superman needing to fight the Eradicator in order to save his son. When Superman and the Eradicator end up on the moon, Lois and John find themselves in one of Batman's bases. When the Eradicator temporarily immobilizes Superman, he begins to hunt down a very scared John, while Lois desperately searches the base for a way to help. As the Eradicator finally gets hold of John, the Hellbat armor makes its return. Instead of the Hellbat armor acting as a father's protective love, this time it's a mother's. Lois Lane dons the armor as she attempts to protect her only son. Batman has made several armors in his 90-year career. Some even appeared during the same era as the Hellbat armor, such as the Thrasher armor and the Justice Buster. But its true purpose contradicts its design, taking the monstrous and menacing appearance and making it stand for familial love and protection. The Hellbat armor encapsulates the core theme at the heart of Batman's character, that a son lost his parents and uses that pain as a reason to help others, and now many years later, creates something with his found family to regain the family he almost lost again. Did you read the Tomasi and Gleason run? What did you think about it? To be honest, it was my favorite thing that came out of the New 52, and it's something I happily got an omnibus for as soon as I could. It's such a glorious story, and I really love Tomasi and Gleason as a team. Tomasi's one of my favorite writers, but yeah, what do you think? Did you like the Hellbat armor? Do you think Tomasi and Gleason should come back and use it for something else? Let me know below, and like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. I'm tripping over my words. Thank you to my YouTube channel members, the Brass Mango. Honestly, it's amazing that someone would even think to follow as a member. That's just so cool. Also, thank you to Comic Drape for script recommendations, and Owen Likes Comics for audio suggestions. If the audio sounds a little bit better, you can thank Owen, although I'm hoping to improve it even more in the future. Till next time.